Radio, we have part two. I was just getting into the rhythm and the video stopped because I ran out of space. So, part two. Now, in part one, I was explaining how I drove over 8 curbs. Yeah. And the guy who was out with me on the coach, he turned around and said, "Yeah, Bonnie lad, you're never gonna be a bus driver." And I went, "Okay." And as I was sitting, waiting for him to do his report, I was thinking about it and I was like, oh man, 8 curbs. Could have done better. Could have done better. And I thought to myself, as I was sitting there waiting, what do I do now? Do I go and stack shelves at Morrison's up the road? Or do I go and sweep the roads? Be a road sweeper? I thought, now. As I sat there, he came past us and he went, "How in? We're going in." And like I say, when the gaffer, the assistant manager, read the report, he turned around and he says, "Well," he says, "Paul," he says, "I'm very sorry to tell you on this occasion, there's nothing we can do because you have failed the driving assessment." And I turned round and I says to him, as I got up, I says, "Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And I'll see you in 3 months." And he went, "Ooh." And you know what it is, right? When I went back 3 months later, didn't have the same person out with me on the coach. No. I had another bloke. And this other bloke, he had a knack, a PhD knack of doing something. And what it was this. He gone bang with his knuckle on the window. And guess what? When I went round Newburn, I made sure I hit no curbs. And as we came back around for the second time round this industrial estate, he turned around and he says to us, "Carry on." Now I was expecting this guy to turn around and say, "Right, pull in," as in the first instance. No, that didn't happen. And to those of you who know Scotchwood, you come up to the little roundabout below the pub. And he said to us, "Carry on." He says, "We're going up the hill." So I watching my mirrors as I was going up. Gets back to the depot. And he says, "Sit there," like the first instructor had said. And went in to the same office to see the same bloke, assistant manager. And he turned around and he said to us after reading the report, and he went, "Paul, can you come in Monday morning?" I went, "Yeah." "What time?" And he told us. And I went, "See you Monday morning." He went, "No." He says, "You won't be seeing me." He went, "What you do is you come in to the gate, cross the zebra crossing, and walk straight through the door in front of you. And he says, you walk up to the window and you report to them. And I did. And do you know what it is, right? As I walked in there was all of these blokes standing this side of us and that side of us. And here's the thing, right? Walked in there with just my jacket on my back. And this geezer came up. I was standing right next to where the cashing in machines were. And he said to us, what's your name, Bonnie lad? So I told him. And he went, right. He says, what size boots? And I went, 10. And he went, wow. Shipbuilder's boots, eh? And I laughed. But anyway, 6 months later, I'd had first exam out on the road, and some muppet had cut me up. Top of Baker, the roundabout. Cut straight across the front of us, even though there was nothing else on. And on the second test, the same thing happened. Cut across, straight across the front of us. Didn't give a damn. But both of these tests were different. Why? I knew the test routes like the back of me hand. The second test route really did cabbage me head, because Coast Road was coming up to the where the Wills's factory was. We went up the little jittyway to go across the bridge, and I was expecting straight on up to where 4 Lane ends is. That's what I was expecting. I didn't get that. Turn running, he says to us as we're driving along. He went, take the next turn on your left. And I was like, where the hell am I going? Ended up coming up by Sainsbury's. And he turned round as we came past Sainsbury's, and he goes, at the junction here, turn left. Where the hell am I going? And I was coming back to the depot, Watergate. And he turned round and he says to us when we got there, how do you think you did? And I went, well, I failed. I says, that muppet on the roundabout at the top of Baker. And he went, congratulations, son. I was like, wow, wait, man. He says, now the hard work begins. Now, the moral of both of them videos is this. Even to drive a car, you don't just get the keys, open the door, start the bloody engine and drive. No, you gotta learn. That's why a section of my YouTube channel is called #adultlearning. Now, lots of you out there in YouTube world have turned round and said, when I started the Udemy Web Development 3 course, Paul, it's going to take you yonks and yonks and yonks try artificial intelligence. Now at the time, I was still writing code. I was still in HTML. I hadn't even got out of HTML. But I listened. And I went on to explore 70 videos from people who I consider to be geniuses. Tried Copilot from Microsoft Edge. Was the answer. Tried Gemini from Google. And guess what? Did I give up? No. Because you don't give up. If you've got an idea, if you've got a plan. Now I'm going to show you something, right? Now, colour coding, yeah? This is just one little tiny bit. But I get those and I write the ideas down and I box stuff off. And then I put an arrow and such and such. It's not perfect. No, it's not. And when I first tried to do what I wanted to do, it was part in one felt tip coloured pen, another part in another. So I had a breakdown of what I wanted to do. I never give up belief. And I never will. Whether you wish to criticise. That's a nice way of putting it. There are some people who jump over the criticise into things YouTube doesn't like. Like Mr. Hartnett, who just brought out something which somebody brought out last year and the year before. Why? Couldn't tell you. You'd have to ask that person. Never met them. However, there are people who have pure hatred. Now, YouTube is not like Twitter. Sorry. No. Twitter has rules which are wrote down. It's a lawless land by Elon Musk. YouTube, I have to follow rules. I'm not allowed to show various different things. I'm not allowed to say various different things. Why? Because I could lose the channel. So I don't do that. Now, I said this a long time ago. And you weren't listening. Or, I can't hear what he is saying. Could be that. I don't know. Or it could be you don't care. But I will say this much. Several people have messaged to say, can we have a look at your GitHub? Before I started all of this coding, I'd never heard of GitHub. No. But on there, I have README. That's all they are. README. It's not code. There is a code on there from Stack Blitz. That code that is on Stack Blitz is www.seekingyou.org. I tried to get the .com, couldn't. Somebody else has got it. So I went for .org instead and tried to log in. Wasn't having it. So I went back to Bolt and says, can't log in. Sadly, do you want to know something with all these artificial intelligence things? You give it a prompt. And you're allowed so many prompts before you can do something else. It will not work after you do so many prompts. So what I'm going to do is, the end of the month, I'm going to go back into Bolt and I'm going to turn around and say, load up Seeking You, and then turn round and say to Bolt, I have paid for www.seeking-you.org. Now I'm going to have to pay you again to correct your code. Not mine, yours. That's wrong, because you're paying twice. You see, that's the thing about artificial intelligence. And the hope is those people behind the scenes of Bolt will realise, well, he's already paid once, he has to pay again when he goes to deploy, but he can't deploy because he can't get in. So there's a conundrum, you know. Other things I've heard of will be used. And here's the thing for you all. Whether you believe or not, I don't care. I really don't care. Because I'm going through issues here at home. And tomorrow, I'm at the doctor's for a blood test to find out what's in here, what's gone wrong. So you can come at me with whatever you want. These apps will go live. The codes on waves.exchange will be checked and deployed. And guess what? There is nothing you can do about it. Nothing. No, people turn around and say, oh, he's bitter. He's this, he's that, he's the other. Shall I turn my phone upside down or shall I do a head spin? Huh? You see, I've got bigger things to think about. You don't believe, you don't believe. As I said to you yesterday, when I was soaking my feet in hot salty water, you didn't believe. What's the finger doing? Huh? I haven't got time for your whinging and all the rest of it. Can't be bothered. So, you either believe or you didn't. Your choice. Thanks for watching.